Hey, Betty.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Okay. I hadn't talked to you in a while, so I was
No.
kind of wondering how that was going over there.
Yeah.
Anything happening in life?
Well, I've been working on a project for my granddaughter with her greeting card business. So that's kept me in my art activities.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. You got a project to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not my normal things, but it's
Mhm.
helping her.
Yeah.
She likes it.
Okay. Well, yeah, as long as you're happy doing it, you know. Got a lot of beeping going on here. I don't know. Okay. Right. Well, we're going to get started here just in a minute. We've got one whole more minute. Anything going on with anybody in life?
No message.
On messages, things like that? Hey, Billy, how are you doing? Billy's not talking to me.
No message.
Yeah, Billy is muted. Okay, let's unmute. Here, let's unmute everybody.
How's that now?
Oh, that's better.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing great. I hope you are.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So what's going on in life with you?
Just trying to keep everything in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I understand how that works. Yeah. You're working on some paintings, right?
Yeah, I've finished one I want you to look at before you leave for vacation and
Okay.
give me some pointers on them.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe Billy, here's an idea. If you take a photograph of it, and then on either Monday or Wednesday, you guys email it to me. We'll talk about it in the either painting share or like today, the art share. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
And that way, yeah, I'll do kind of a critique, give you some suggestions. That's what we're here for.
So, just need your special touches.
I see. Okay. All right. Anyway, all right. So let's get rocking and rolling here. You guys sent in some things, and I want to share those with you. If I can find where. Oh, there we go. Okay. I lose that thing every once in a while. I lose it every once in a while. Okay. All right. So we're going to start off. These are a couple of pieces that Avatal did. And I showed them on, I think it was Friday, real quick. And let me blow them up a little bit. It seems to be small on here today. Anyhow, she's been sort of playing with this portraiture idea, I guess. And kind of like Naomi, she's going in, she's using, all these various colors that you wouldn't really expect to find in the flesh tones. But still yet, because of the value structure, of the head and things, it still, pretty much so works like a human head. And I'm just going to kind of show you a few of these. There's, she's trying different variations. And I'm assuming that these are maybe like watercolor or something like that, as far as paint medium. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
But, she's getting some nice results. This one in particular, between the drawing and the color, kind of works, pretty well. I like what's happening with that. So, Avatal, since you're here online, and we can hear you, what are you thinking about doing with these? you going to pursue them any further? What, kind of where you headed with this?
I sent you this morning, I'm sorry, it's late, you might have not seen it, what I call the final version, but actually it was the first version because I was not brave enough to ruin it. Since I invested time, quite a bit of time, and that's when I started to do those little sketches.
Mhm.
And I did send you the final version, which is but actually when I compare, the final version is not that final. Definitely not.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I didn't get that. I downloaded work, up until about maybe 12:45, and I hadn't received anything from you, anything more. So maybe I'll go back and check after the class and see if we've got anything more. But I like I like the fact that you're taking the time to do some studies and play with the color, and just experiment. And I would suggest that before you launch into a big one, maybe you do this first, and then go into more or less the final version of it. Any chance that you might, now that you've got several different studies of this, that you might go back and you might try redoing it again with some of the color and stuff that you've got in some of the others?
Absolutely. In fact, that's why I sent you the other one, because I call it anemic. You can hardly see anything.
Okay.
And as I said, I felt like it looked, the basic idea looked good, but it was very easy to ruin it with watercolor. You cannot go back. And that's why I did the sketches after rather than prior, which is of course the reverse way to do things. But yes, I would love to go back to it.
Yeah, because I'd like to see what you can do with it. Now, your final version, how large is that?
It's about, I'd say, 3 times larger than these, because these are small.
Okay, all right. And so what, like about maybe 16 by 20, something like that?
Well, yeah, but the head itself, the frame is 16 by 20, but the head itself, I would say, is about a normal people's head size, normal size, head size.
All right.
About.
Okay, so maybe like, 10 to 12 inches in height.
Yeah, probably. Maybe a little more.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like I said, yeah, I would love to see, you go back and what are you working on? What kind is this? This isn't a canvas. This is some kind of board?
It's a watercolor paper.
Watercolor paper. Okay.
Yeah.
And is your final piece on watercolor paper as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see you go back and, maybe do like take 2 or 3 pieces of watercolor paper and then do the drawing part of it, and get that established, and then just experiment, using what you've got here, because you've got some nice range of color and variation. And I tell this to Naomi as well, think about not so much the color as the value, okay? And so if you need a darker value, then use those colors that would naturally be darker anyway. And then if you want some kind of color or something on the light side, then use those colors that would be naturally lighter, such as, like yellows, oranges, things like that. And with watercolor, you can dilute, the color quite a bit. So even if it is, say, a purple, it could be a very pale wash of purple on it. Again, thinking more about when you're mixing your color, mixing it for the value, not necessarily the color itself. Okay?
Yes. Yes, I understand. Thank you.
All right.
That's
Then we have Eloise. Eloise sent, now this was her reference. And then she had started a painting. And it
Oh.
looks, I don't know whether she has just kind of started over and redone this, or whether she took out the buildings, you know, in the background along the horizon line here. I'm not quite sure where she's going to go with that, but she sent these two in. Eloise, are you here?
Nope.
No, I guess not. Okay. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to hear what she's going to do with them. You know, so I'd like to hear where she's headed with that. Now, this is a piece that Fran sent in, Fran Littner. And if I had to make a guess, these are 2 blocks of wood that have been joined together. One kind of an L shape, one a square. And she's treating it like a sculptural piece. And so, you know, just kind of looking at the shapes and the form. And I think this is something that she had done, you know, maybe much earlier. But, you know, if any of you wanted to play with sculpture, okay, and particularly using the medium of wood, right? The process that she went through, where, you know, she actually like glued 2 pieces of wood together and then painted, you know, the outside surface. I've seen a lot of sculptors, you know, begin to build up their sculptures with, you know, wood blocks or just scrap wood pieces. I'm trying to think of her name. There was a female artist who is really, really famous, somewhere up around the Chicago area, something like that, New York. But she, you know, she would find, again, you know, old pieces of scrap material out of a cabinet shop, you know, turned legs and things like that. And then she would actually assemble them, and she would paint them either black or white or gray so that they were all kind of, you know, uniform. And these would be almost like paintings, but they were slightly, you know, I would call them high and low relief. You know, they weren't really 3-dimensional because you were looking at them really just from the front. And God, I wish I could recall her name right off the top of my head, but I'll look her up. Anyhow, you know, wood as a medium is fairly easy to work with. You don't have to have a lot of tools. You know, if you have even just a handsaw, you know, you can really do quite a bit. And then, you know, if you had something like a keyhole saw, something like that, then you could get really more sophisticated with the shapes and things that you could cut out of it. But, you know, just an idea, you know, while you guys, I don't know how many of you, you know, have a garage or something, you know, stuffed full of, you know, old scrap wood or something, you know, laying around, you know, storage shed or something like that. But again, you know, it can be a really, you know, fun and useful material. And, you know, your imagination is really the only limitation, because, you know, even let's say that you don't want to work in rectangular forms. Well, you can glue them together and make a base. And then with some basic carving tools, you know, carve out different shapes, you know, once the glue is dry, and it really becomes almost like a solid piece of wood that way. So you can do some nice things with it. You've got, this is Jean Goldstein. And Jean, I just saw you, so you're here.
Yeah, just finally let me in. I'm having trouble getting connected with it. I don't know why. I've had to type in the number that long. I don't know. It sometimes it takes me 20 minutes to get in.
Yeah. Do you know how to copy and paste?
No.
Oh, we need to teach you how to do that.
I need to learn a lot of things, particularly with the computer and the Zoom thing. I'm idiot box is what I am.
Well, you know that either the email that I had sent out with all the Zoom classes on it, and or the things that Andre and Sabrina send out. You can go to the class you're looking for, and if you take your cursor, right, and then, you know, just kind of hover right in front of it, and then click down and drag over it, and that's what they call highlighting it. Once you've drug over it, if you hit, I think it's, well, on a Mac, it's Command C. I think on a PC, what is it? Is it Alt or is it Command
Just,
to copy?
you just click on it.
Yeah.
Well, my problem with getting I have a Safari is my way of thinking, and the Andre and the Sabrina's, what they send out, my Safari won't accept, but the ones you send out, my Safari accepts. But once I've got it on my calendar and you send out a repeat, I can't change it because it messes it up. I don't know. It's just been a real ordeal.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if you just copy over that link, you know, like I said, you know, do a Command C, then click into like your browser window, and then hit Command V, that's paste. You know, then you've got that exact address in there, and then you just hit a return, and it should take you to the Zoom page.
Now you know on a lot of these PC that Command C and Z is not on there.
You mean to Command?
I'm thinking of
Control.
Function C, yeah.
Yeah, well, what I mean, okay, Bernice, is it's two different keys. It's the Command key, and you're holding that down, and then you press on C.
Oh, the letter, okay.
What's the Command key?
Does.
The Command is at the bottom, right there at the bottom where your space bar is. It's the key that's right next to the space bar.
Okay, I see it. Yeah.
And you've got one on the left, one on the right. Now,
Right.
now on a PC, it might be an Alt key,
Yeah.
but on a Mac, it's a Command key.
I think I got a Mac.
Okay, so yeah, so just, you know, you press the Command key down, and then you press the C. That's copy.
Okay.
Right, and then when you click into your browser window on Safari, then hit the Command key again, and then press V. It should paste it in there for you, and that way you don't have
Wait, you said B like in
B as in
Vermont? Or
yeah,
Bertha?
Vermont. Yeah,
Vermont.
Vermont.
Okay.
Yeah, one is Command C, the other is Command V.
B. Okay.
Okay, and so
I'll
that's
have
how
to
you.
try that next.
Yeah, that's how you copy and paste. Okay.
Okay, Gene, there's a class that offered by the center, Jeff does, and I took it, and it was really helpful.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you
He's
have,
not there today. He's not there.
well, yeah, but they do have some computer classes scheduled. So, you know, any of those basic classes would help you guys if you're having trouble. Okay. Anyway,
Thank you. I'm gonna try it.
all right. So anyway,
Well,
let's talk about your painting. All right, and we talked about it a little bit on Friday,
yes.
but now this is an acrylic painting.
Yes.
Okay, and again, you know, this is like a third or fourth generation or version of
Right.
something she had started, and this is like the second or third version that she had done. And she had started off with these trees, and they were, you know, in the original, they were all just kind of flat against the background,
Right.
and there was nothing overlapping. And then she came back and she began to pull this one tree over to the right forward and bring that branch across, which really helped begin to give it some depth, you know, in the painting. And, you know, she was real kind of, you know, free and loose with her color, which was great, you know, in these first versions. And now where she's progressed to, you know, she's using a different media. But again, you know, the color, you know, the color's gotten a little more sophisticated. You know, she's got a lot more depth, you know, in the composition now. She's using that one tree in the front to, you know, overlap, you know, some of the other trees. And all of a sudden, you know, this kind of comes alive, you know, as a painting. And it's really a much different feel to it than what she first started off with. You know? And you could almost think of those first couple of little watercolor pieces as concepts. And, you know, she's developing her ideas. Now, you know, with something like this subject, you know, I know artists who work in what they call series. And they would take something like this, some simple idea like this, you know, with the color and everything else, and they would do, you know, 20 or 30 of these paintings and keep experimenting with the composition and stuff like that. And they would have a body of work, you know, at the end of it that they could then take to a gallery and present and go, here, I have a series of work, you know, or, you know, does this seem like it fits, you know, with your clientele? And, you know, do you think anybody, you know, who's, you know, one of your clients would be interested in any of this work? And, you know, a good gallery rep would, you know, take this and run with it, because they could probably sell, you know, a lot, you know, pretty much so your whole series, because a lot of people really like, you know, nature and trees and stuff like this. So you could really take this, you know, and go places with it. And the thing is, where before it was a little more graphic and kind of abstract, this is getting a little more like almost realistic trees, but it's still with a very contemporary feel. You know, it doesn't feel real traditional. And that's because of all the loose color that you used, you know, in the background and midground. And, you know, it really helps, you know, pull this piece together, you know, as a really nice piece of art. So I like where you're going with it, and I would encourage you to go further.
I have
I'm
a
gonna try and do it in watercolor next and see if I can get the freeness and the looseness and the depth with the watercolors. It's a lot of fun to play with.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that, but yeah, I would encourage you to stay and do more of the acrylics. And if you did that, you know, kind of stay with the same general color range and the same approach, but try different compositions, you know, play with arranging your trees differently, working, you know, vertical pieces, horizontal pieces, things like that. And again, you know, you could build up, you know, a small body of work pretty quickly, you know, with something like that, and have something to take to, you know, a gallery or put online and market it on Etsy or something like that. And I think you'd be fairly successful with it. So
only if somebody knew how to use a computer better than I do.
well,
I
you
have
know,
a question. Hello.
you have to do the paintings first. Okay.
Yeah,
Then
I
you can
know.
do the
I
computer
know.
part. Yes, somebody had a question.
Yes, lady. This is
Huh?
the Jean. How big is it? And do you have it hanging up in your home?
No, this is about, it's a stretched canvas and it's 11 by 14. I happen to have a stretched canvas, usually on pieces that size. I usually use boards, you know, because there's already a brace to it.
And
But
do you have it?
No, it's not hanging in my room, and I don't have I had it hanging for a little while, but I have bigger pieces hanging in my room. I have like 18 by 24s, and I have, I got one over there that's like probably 30 by 40 maybe.
Mhm.
I ought to take pictures of it just hanging. It won't be a good picture to really let Charles have a chance to show it, but
It's very nice, Jean. It's beautiful.
but it's hard to take a larger piece on the wall.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to be able to get back from it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. Very, very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, maybe you can take it off the wall, and, you know, maybe
Yeah.
if you have like a bigger lobby space or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the lighting is terrible.
Is the lighting terrible?
I may have to get it outside
Well, that works too.
But what I've got that I'm looking at right now that's in my bedroom is a dog of our fireplace, and it's just using the sepia and the dark browns. It's one color. It's monochromatic,
Mhm.
and it's just got the browns and the white. And I might be able to take a picture of it. I don't know how good it'll come out, but the trees that I have in the watercolors usually have people in front of it or walking, but on a road between it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Okay.
see what I can do. Some of those are a little smaller.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can take off the wall and take outside maybe and get a better photograph of it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, just yeah, the main thing is, yeah, keep moving with it. Don't let it go quite yet, And the reason I'm kind of pushing you or encouraging you is that I want you to see how far you can go with these things. And I think you're kind of on the verge of, kind of making something that you can kind of incorporate, as a look or a style in your work that you could play with, and really do some things with. Because again, it's very loose, it's very painterly, which a lot of people like. It's almost abstract.
Yeah.
But again, the colors are really nice and kind of soft in it with the combinations that you've got. So those are all things that would be appealing, to somebody looking for a piece of art on their wall. You just have to paint bigger.
Yeah, it's hard to do in a small room.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. All right. So next, I have something, June. You sent me this horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Why did you send me the horse?
Oh, this is a reference. I did have the painting sent to you too.
Okay, I didn't get the painting. I got the horse.
I have joined the horse and the pen. I sent you two kind of painting.
Okay. Well,
You didn't get it?
No, I got the horse.
Oh,
Is that the horse we talked about last time with the short legs?
No.
This is from the Google. I searched it, the wild horse.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
can you see this? Can you see this?
I can't see you, so I can't see that.
Oh.
Let me scroll down. See if I can find.
This horse, I did it.
I'm looking for you, June, but I'm not seeing you. Oh, there you are.
Get to that background.
Okay, yeah.
You
Yeah,
see this?
no, all I can see is your background.
Oh, where are you? You cannot see me?
I can see your face in your hand, but the painting.
Oh, this is what I did it. Can you see this?
Sometimes. Okay, well, there for a second I could. Okay, but no, now it's all background.
Oh, I made a two. I sent to you.
Okay, so send them to me. All right, so let me ask you. Okay, now you took this off the internet. Do you have any idea what kind of horse this is?
They're white. He said a white horse, not you feed it at your home. A white horse, he said. Wider.
Wow.
Wild?
Wow.
White, W-O.
Oh, okay, wild. Now, well,
Wild horse, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you that this horse is anything but wild.
It looks like an Arabian horse.
Well, actually, he's what you call a Morgan. Okay.
That's the workhorse, yeah.
And a Morgan is like a workhorse. They're smaller. They're smaller than like Clydesdales and things, but they're what you call a cold blood. A cold, which is like workhorses, like draft horses, things like that. but he's a little bit lighter, smaller version of a draft horse. And they use Morgans, or they used to use Morgans a lot, you know, for like buggy races and stuff like that, you know, because they, you know, that's what they were bred for, was to pull buggies, right? But yeah, he's a beautiful Morgan. I can't tell whether he's a gelding or a stallion or a mare, but, you know, I'm guessing it's a he rather than a she, but I could be wrong. You know, I can't tell. You know,
Leg is in the way.
well, it's all in shadow, so you know, it's a mystery. Anyway, but yeah, he's a beautiful horse, and you know, if you've been drawing and painting him,
Yeah, I sent you twice. Why you didn't get it? I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah,
Oh,
this is
oh.
what I got. Okay, but okay, let's send them and let's see if we can get them. Okay, and
Okay.
all right. Anyhow, I was just wondering why you were sending me a horse. You know, I was kind of hoping you'd send me a painting with it, but I never got one. All right. All right. So anyway, here we have, this is Lady's most recent piece. And this is a collage. And, you know, she's got, is that a coffee or, yeah, decaffeinated, yeah, Bushels coffee, I guess. Did your family have something to do with that, with this company, Lady?
Only I wish.
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
What it is, it's a collage of my father's side of the family. My father's from Barbados, British West Indies.
Uh-huh.
And the actual instant coffee packs, my aunt, I had an aunt, her name was Carol, and she was a world traveler. And she and her husband were in Australia.
Oh.
And there are more Bushels in Australia than anywhere else in the world.
Wow.
And they had and I think it's gone out of business, Bushels Coffee and Tea Company. Mm-hmm. And so she brought me 2 bags of the instant coffee because my aunt loved to collect knickknacks and little trinkets. So I put that on there because it's unusual to see. It's not a common name. So to see it in a coffee pack was interesting. But I entitled this piece "A Letter from Barbados," because this was a letter that one of my aunts sent to my father, my mother, my brother and I in 1962, giving us a health update of my grandmother, who's in the center of the picture, telling apparently she had been ill.
Yeah.
And she was getting better. And so the real inspiration for it was a picture of my aunt Joan and my cousin Beverly, who are on the right-hand side, the lady with the big hat and the polka dot dress.
Right.
That's just, I mean, it doesn't do justice. That's the most beautiful picture I've ever seen. I mean, she's just naturally beautiful. And my cousin Beverly literally looks like a baby doll.
She does.
Yeah.
You know,
she was probably what, maybe a year old?
She may have been about a year old. I mean, it's just.
Charles, can you make it a little bigger?
Yeah. Well, not be able to see all of it, but sure, I can zoom in
Okay.
a little bit. It gets a little pixelated when you get this. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what I always found so amazing is my mother, one of my mother's sisters, her name is Veronica, and my aunt Veronica and my aunt Joan, they looked so much alike. Just natural, beautiful women. Just, I mean, no makeup, just beautiful. And so also I have on there stamps from Barbados. When I was in college, my freshman year, I worked at the front desk. And I'd never seen stamps from other countries before. And I never saw stamps that had Black people on it. So I would literally steal the stamps off of these girls' letters. And they would always say, Janetta, how did my letters get here? I said, it's a miracle they got here. And I'm pocketing all their stamps because I think stamps are beautiful.
Yeah.
And so it's the truth. So in the letter, which was the most fascinating, my aunt was telling my family that my grandmother was getting better and she's been able to go to the bathroom on her own and go to her drawing room. So apparently my grandmother was an artist and I didn't know. And my father said he doesn't remember. And so that's a picture of my father in the corner.
Yeah, down.
The bottom left.
Yeah, that's his picture I took of him last year. So,
Okay.
Okay.
and yeah,
Now,
all of them, huh?
Is this him younger?
Nope, that's his brother.
Oh, that's
He and his brother look just alike. They're two or 3 years apart.
Okay.
Are you in this picture?
Nope, no, I'm not in that picture. It's just my father's siblings and some of my cousins and my grandmother on my father's side of the family.
So who's the girl that's in the middle?
This girl
The girl right there,
Mm-hmm.
that's my Aunt Anita.
Oh, okay. They're fairly young at that time.
Yeah, all these pictures were taken in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I have pictures like that too.
And the colorful parts of the collage, I actually took pictures of my father's artwork and made Xerox copies of them and cut them out and put them on the collage. And they're all around the border of the collage also.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, you found some really, really nice elements here, you know, with the coffee packs, the stamps, you know, the text, you know, in the writing, you know, in the letter itself. And those all make, you know, really, really nice elements to work with. And so it's a nice piece. And it, you know, tells some, you know, like a story of, you know, part of your family's history.
Yeah.
Now, is this mounted onto a canvas or is it a hard board or?
Oh, that's my favorite fabric panel.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I have stacks of them.
Okay. Hey, you know, I mean, you know, they're working for you. You know, I mean, they're really versatile. You can do a lot of things with them, so that's good. But yeah, this
Charles, please add me on your list.
I will. I did.
You didn't. I didn't get an email from you.
Yeah, I haven't sent. Yeah, I've been really bad about. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to sending those emails I need to send all of you. Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm gonna apologize for that, but yeah, they're coming. Okay, we're gonna get there. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice job, lady.
Yeah, I'm trying to finish this demonstration and photograph it so I can send you everything at once, and that way it will all make sense. But yeah, this is a beautiful piece, lady, and yeah, I like what you did with it. And again, you know, just like with Jean and you know and Avital, you know, you've got you've got something to begin with here, and you can take and try to do multiple pieces.
Louise is here.
You know, when you do, you know, go back in and try to do multiples, not just a piece by itself, and try to get a kind of a small body of work together. Because it's like the more you do this, the more you begin to play with it. You know, the more kind of creative ideas you get about, you know, things that you can use and color themes and things like that. And, you know, I mean, you've definitely got something there that you can build on and really kind of make, you know, a really interesting series.
So the next one I'm working on is going to be, I'm working on the theme and it's siblings. And so I'm going to do my mother's sisters.
Okay.
My mother had 7 sisters and she really loved her sisters. And the theme is going to be sisters using the lyrics to the word, the song Sisters from The Color Purple.
Okay.
So if you've never heard that song, it's really a beautiful song. And so the next one I'm working on is on hers. And then I'm going to do my siblings.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got a real strong concept or idea there.
Yeah.
And just keep building onto it. I mean, you can really do a lot with it. And yeah, you come up with some really nice pieces. And the fact that you've got so many of those panels, you know, I would encourage you, try to work out the compositions so that they all fit on the same size panel, right?
Yes.
And that way, again, you know, it just holds together as a body of work rather than just an individual piece. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Lady, may I speak to lady for a minute? Lady, this is Claudia.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi, did you see Sunday morning, on Sunday morning?
Did I say that again, Claudia?
The Sunday morning show on CBS
I
on
saw it,
Sunday
yeah.
morning.
Did I see this
Yes.
Sunday?
Uh-huh.
You know what, Claudia, I did.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah.
Okay, well, I would suggest that in line with what you're doing here, you might want to go and look at one of the video clips that they have on, that was on Sunday morning. And it's called a diorama of, and they had it in the 1940 World Fair. And it was about the miniature things that Black people did back in the day. And it was and it was a very famous, and they have like 21 of those stagings. They have like 16 of them now that they're restoring, and there's in the museum. So you might want to go and look at that clip.
You know what, Claudia?
What you're doing.
Yes, Claudia, you're right. I did see that. I'm sorry, I forgot. I did see that, and what made me, what was so interesting, once when my mother passed away, she was an official hoarder. She had junk everywhere, and going through her stuff, I found a ticket stub from one of the Negro Expos in Chicago in 1963.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And so my mother kept tickets and stubs, you know, when she would go to a play, she would have the playbill program. So I have a lot of those kind of things. So yeah, I do remember it. Thank you, Claudia. Yes, and it was about teaching African-American students how to become museum restorators.
That's correct. But really about the diorama for the Black history. And because that can't be found anymore. They're still trying to find out. I think like 6 of them are still missing. So
13 of them missing. Yes, thank you, Claudia.
All right. Anybody else got any comments about this?
I want to tell you that you want to ask Eloise about her painting. It looks like she's here now.
Oh, okay. Eloise, you're around?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry I got delayed.
That's okay. All right. So I had a question. Okay, so.
I'm sorry I missed out on Janetta's presentation.
Oh, okay. Well, you got, okay, so you had sent us this piece before, okay? And it's that, you know, where did you say this was, Miami?
Yes, Port of Miami on, yes, Port of Miami.
Okay, all right, so you sent us this, all right, and we've seen this before. Now you had sent, and is this the same painting or did you start?
No, I did another one. I just changed it. I didn't even put the skyline on there. And as I looked at it later, I see that the islands are out of perspective.
I know where she makes some mistakes.
Okay. Yeah, because I was kind of wondering when I looked at it, it's like, okay, did she paint back over this and then eliminate the city? Okay, so.
It's a study, so I'm trying to work on it, and I didn't remember everything you told me to change, but I tried to do 2 or 3 things on there.
Okay, so the one thing I want you to do though is in these darker values, again, try to move away from making them quite so neutral, okay? And actually make them like a darker value color, right? Or a combination of colors. You don't, pardon me, you know, you don't have to make them all blue or green or, you know, but again, you know, keep the value ranges in say 7, 8, 9, you know, on a value scale. And, you know, so that they all hold together as, you know, that value as being a dark shade. But again, you know, play with the color. And I think you'd be surprised, you know, how you can really kind of pull that forward, okay?
Well, it doesn't look like that on the picture, and I guess I'm not making an exact copy anyway, but that color is a combination of burnt sienna and ultramarine.
Right, yeah, which is the same thing you kind of used on the last painting. The thing is, and we kind of talked about that makes almost like a black, right? You know, or a really dark gray. And again, you know, it's so neutral that I'm trying to push you to try to, you know, get out of the safe zone there and get a little color in there, okay?
Okay, all right.
And
Okay, so at different, do I make shapes or just put in different
you mean,
dots of color?
well, yeah, it could just be loose color, you know, all through here. Again, as long as all the value is the same. Okay. All right. Linda, is that you talking in the background?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was on. I thought we
Yeah. Can you?
I'll block it. No, I'm sorry. I always leave it blocked.
Okay. Anyhow.
I thought he was blocked.
Yeah. Anyhow, but yeah, you know, again, you know, get some color in here, and then because see, color will, because it's more intense than these neutrals, will begin to pull forward. Now, as you, and particularly like down in here, right? Or, you know, the areas that are closer to you, as it moves further back, it can get more neutral. See, again, because you're trying to use the color and modifying the colors so that this begins to lay down for you and feel like this is moving off in the distance from this point to this point, right?
Okay, so the background should be less colored and the foreground should be more colors.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Right. Same, you know, don't change the value between here and there. Just change, you know, you're putting color in here, which is going to be a lot more intense than the gray that you put back there. See, and just, you know, let it kind of transition, you know, from the gray into these colors. Again, keeping the value, and that's the important thing, that the value is consistent, right?
All right, I will work on that right away so I won't forget what you said.
Okay. All right. You know, and it's, I think you'll, you know, if you play with that a little bit, I think you'll like the result, you know, quite a bit better, you know, because again, you know, that's going to make that whole plane in there lay down for you and move back into the distance. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's see. All right. Lawrence, are you here?
I'm here.
Hey, there you are. How you doing?
It's been a day.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, it's better than not having a day, right?
Yeah, I had to go to the courthouse this morning.
Oh boy. All right. I'm sure there's a story behind that.
Not a long one, but it's okay.
Yeah, we can share that later. Anyhow, so tell us about your drawing.
This is a few years back when I was working with Demizio.
Okay, Chris Demizio.
Yeah, we were getting our models from, I think, what, Pinterest? Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know, this one kind of moved me and I liked it. It's sort of like, looked like anguish to me. Somebody in pain, crying.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave that one a try.
Okay.
Of course, I had some people in class, you know, that helped critique me and help me to clean up some of the mistakes.
Okay. Well, it's a nice drawing.
I went as far as I could with my abilities at that time.
Okay.
It's very three-dimensional. I love it.
Yeah, you're actually kind of beginning to get a lot of form in the arm, you know, across here and, you know, with your folds, things like that, you know, moving around the form. All of that's working pretty well for you.
I have too many folds in the cloth.
Yeah.
You always used to complain I put too many folds in there.
Yeah, you could probably do with a few less, but, you know, the nice thing is that they're not repetitive. Okay. And that's the thing you really got to watch is, you know, are they repetitive, the same size, the same length, you know, you know, keep on going, because then that kind of begins to look like a pattern and that tells you a human brain created it. So I got a question for you though. Okay. You know, this arm right here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. You know, it's beginning to feel like the elbow is moving back and the hand is moving forward as the head's thrust forward a little bit.
Since he's a little bit ahead of some of us in his drawing, I would be interesting since he did this a long time ago. What would he do differently on this picture? What does he see wrong with this picture at this point in time, now that he has advanced some?
Okay, that's a fair question. Okay, what do you got to say, Lawrence? What would you do different?
I'd probably look more at my light source.
Okay.
And there's parts of it need to be darkened to the darker side, but in the what I was referencing to, like I said, I wasn't thinking of light sources back then. I was just trying to get the feel for the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of did a lot of smudging on the background.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
looks like a light.
Otherwise, it's okay, huh? Otherwise, you don't see anything else?
Left. Mm-hmm.
Are you asking?
No. I'm asking Lawrence. Lawrence, is there anything else that you would see that you would do differently?
Since I have the original with me, I mean, I see more detail I could put into the hand that's covering her face.
Okay.
Probably I would to the right, I mean to the left side where her butt is, her shoulder.
Yeah.
I probably would darken it a little bit more shadow into it.
You mean in the background, or you mean?
Yeah, you got it. Not the background, her body.
Oh, okay.
I would probably make it a little bit darker.
Okay, so increase the contrast here. Okay, a little bit. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Well, some of the stuff that I've learned, I was thinking about at the bottom of it where you see her knee, her hand is touching the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about, kind of just blurring that just a little bit and not drawing any attention to it, sort of make it look like a little cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you soften it?
Okay.
So we wouldn't be concentrating on that part of the picture.
Right.
I would want to put more detail into the head, the hand, and the shoulder. So I would want more people to look at that than rather anything else on the body.
Okay. I would agree with that. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not asking if you go back and you change this drawing.
No, she's pretty well tucked away now.
Yeah. But what I would say is, why don't you try redrawing this? Okay. And do some of the things that you were talking about. Like, for example, increase your contrast in this area and then soften all of this, and let it kind of fade away. I think it'd make a stronger, more effective drawing. And, I think you could use a lot of the things that you know now that you didn't know then and really make it a much stronger piece. Okay? Now, I have a question for you, though, about, because you said that this is a woman, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a woman. I'm not sure, but, when they have something that's covering the breasts, I take it as it's probably being a woman, but.
Okay. Well, see, I'm kind of thinking it's a man. Because you see, I'm looking at those deltoids there. And women, unless they work really hard at it, don't get those. Okay?
What? You don't get what?
Deltoids. These,
oh, yeah.
The muscle at the top of the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on women, it tends to be a little more angular and a little flatter and not so full and round. On men, men doing any kind of, physical labor or lifting anything over their head, during the day or whatever, they're going to build up those muscles to be fairly large. And that's, that's a fairly well-built shoulder right there.
Well, I could have fun with your comment there if I wanted to, but I'm not.
Okay, well.
You want to see a man, I saw a woman, so.
Looks like the arm is real good.
Yeah, Yeah, it feels a little muscular to be a woman. Okay.
Well, I just got the headgear and stuff. I took that as a scarf wrapped around the head.
Well,
and it's probably way back in the biblical times when, when the Jewish people were all slaves, all of them did equal work.
Well, it could be Greek, it could be Roman, it could be from any of those times in antiquity. Because the clothing looks like it probably was, right?
It could, yes. I just didn't really think of a story to tell you about it, but.
Charles?
Yes.
What I find very interesting about Daddy-O's work, he's an artist and he's not sure of the gender. And that's the most beautiful part of your work. You're not sure and you created it. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you, lady, for pulling my fat out of the fire.
Anytime, Daddy-O.
Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'd like to see you. I'd like to see what you could do with this now. Okay. So let's move on. Let's go to your little girl doing the. This is a very Asian pose, by the way. If you take a look at like a lot of like the photos of children in Japan, China, all through.
Again, I found that on Pinterest, and
yeah,
I gave it a shot at doing a portrait, and I could probably do a hell of a lot better now than I could then.
Okay, but there's
the face is flat. The eyes are not quite what I want them to be. They still look like they're just sitting there and not recessed.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they actually move forward out of the face rather than sink into the face.
Yeah, bug-eyed.
Yeah. Well, no, it's contrast. Okay, and you've handled the actual drawing of the features and things pretty well, but you kind of overstated the contrast in the eyes. All right, and so if you soften them back, I'm not saying take them away. Just soften it back just the least little bit.
Yeah, I see that hard line.
Yeah, then they would kind of sit back in the head, right? Rather than kind of come forward, okay?
Are these charcoal?
Mine are pencils.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, graphite, I think.
Graphite, okay.
Yeah. And then you've got this piece, which is kind of very similar to the one, that we talked about earlier.
Now, I purposely softened this one a lot.
Okay.
To give it I was hoping to give it a glow.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're almost there,
I didn't make it.
Yeah, the only thing, I like the contrast between the light here and then into this mid-tone. But again, you're keeping the edge kind of hard. And so I think you could soften that a little bit more. And then it would actually look like glow, right? Because you're not going to see, you're not going to see a hard edge right there. If this is light, kind of emitted from behind.
Well, I was going for the spiritual part where
I get it. Okay.
Like it's an aura, maybe.
Okay.
You know how, like you said, in biblical paintings, they have that little.
Oh yeah.
The
little disc, for
orb
them
or whatever.
Being a saint or.
The halos.
Right, halo. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. If it were me, I would still soften that edge, but that's just me. All right. But it's a nice drawing. You got a really nice feel. And the only thing I would say to you, because you really kind of want to focus like right in here, right? It's like under that jawline and stuff, you could really kind of push that value back there a little bit darker, and then that would really push that back and begin to make it feel more dimensional. And
I see that, yeah.
Yeah. So
darken it more, darken the face a little bit so it's more into the shadow.
No, I wouldn't darken the face. I would stop right there at that jawline. And again, don't make a hard line, just push the value back in here, darker, like really like right up in here, and then just let it kind of fade out to what it is, right? So don't make the whole thing you know, the same value. But like right up here in that triangle, you know, to the top, you know, that's really your strong dark. And then as it moves forward, it kind of becomes about, you know, what it is. And see, that's going to push that area back, and it's also going to make the face begin to feel like it's dimensional. Understand?
How about, yeah, probably underneath the elbow, that area under there that's in shadow.
No, because if you darken it down here, you're going to pull your attention down here, and this is where you want to focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I want to keep the attention up there to the head and the face.
Right. Yeah. So it's really just that little bit, like right in here. Okay. Yeah. Don't mess with the hands and the arm, and you know, don't go everywhere. Just right in there. Just really kind of begin to push that little bit right up in here. You know, quite a bit darker. Okay.
Did you see that painting that I sent you from Daniel Pierce, his latest one?
Yeah, I think I did. Trying to remember what it was right offhand.
It was a little girl.
Right.
I've never seen him do those before.
Yeah, it was a portrait.
He usually does mostly animals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I never seen him do one of those. And apparently he said it was a commission, and it was sent off to Dubai.
Okay.
So somebody rich picked it up.
Right. Well, it was a commission, so he painted it for them. Yeah. They basically had him paint it.
But I think he really outdid himself on that one.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right. Well, we're basically at 3 o'clock here, folks. So I'm gonna kind of zoom through these. No pun intended. Okay. But anyhow, yeah, I wanted to show you these. Naomi has been working. She's been really busy. She's been doing you know, I like where this is heading, Naomi.
It's my colored pencils.
I know it's your colored pencils, but there's something that has changed. Okay? And what has changed is how you're composing the page. Okay? So it's really a much more interesting composition.
Oh.
And so, yeah, you got something kind of nice going on there. Okay?
Well, thank you.
You know, same here, right? Again, you know, it's kind of the way you're composing the page. Yeah, I mean, these are really kind of, you know, they're kind of whimsical in a way. You know, particularly like this, and then the horse.
Hey, Charles, before you go to the next picture, can I suggest that Naomi, the other one with the girl, Naomi.
This is from Charleston. This is an artist at Charleston did something like this. Not this. Oh.
No, the other picture, that one with the girl.
Well, they're both girls. Okay.
Yeah, with the hat.
You mean the one with the hat?
Yes.
Okay.
And I suggest, Naomi, you should look up an artist. His name is Jonathan Green.
Wait, I'm gonna write it down.
Okay.
Jonathan
Green.
Jonathan Green.
Yes. And this is so like his work. You would love it. So Google him. His work is beautiful, colorful.
Is his work from people from Charleston?
I'm not sure if he's from Charleston, but it looks exactly, it may be Charleston. Yeah, it might be. His work is beautiful, and this looks just like something.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, that by far is my favorite artist, Jonathan Green.
Okay. All right.
Beautiful. Okay. She does great work. Naomi does beautiful work.
She does.
So then we have the horse, you know, and again, you know, now the thing is, you can use some of these darks occasionally, you know, but your outlines, try not to make them quite so strong. Okay?
Oh, too much outline. Okay.
Yeah. Again, because the value is getting so dark. If these were there, but just a little bit, you know, but lighter, so that the color could be more dominant than the outline. Really, where you want the outline is you want it out here, around the shape and maybe over the major shapes. But, once you kind of, you see, this is too much the same as the edge of this. And
I
so,
see that. Yeah.
so if you emphasize the out.
She used to present with those ladies, with the ladies, like the first one you showed, and she set out a lot of the linear part, the dark linear part, and that's what's making it evolve to really look like something I think is really beautiful and interesting.
Okay, so
I like
not
this.
so much dark outlining.
Well,
okay.
Again, emphasize the outside edge. You can have these there, but don't overdo. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let them be a little soft. That way, that whole shape holds together.
Yeah.
As the head, as the mane, yada, yada, yada. Right?
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And, it's like when you, like down here, like on this face, you see, you've done away with the outline.
Yeah.
Right? And you see this holds together much better as a face. If you had outlined all of those shapes,
yeah,
it would break it apart, see? But here you've got the outline, kind of really describing the forms and the shapes of the face. And you're just letting the color, like one color kind of move into another. Here, and you did it up here in the top as well. See, again, color against color rather than this, hard outline. And it softens it, and it gets you to focus on things like the eyes, where you have emphasized that dark in there, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I need all the help.
Pardon?
I need all the help.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, this is a painting that Naomi did. Now,
Oh, that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah,
that's my son and my daughter-in-law.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a nice painting. It really is.
They like it too. They have it in their kitchen.
Good. All right. And then your cat.
Watercolor.
Yeah. Yeah. I still want you to square those up. Oh, by the way, you did a good job labeling your work.
Thank you.
So, the tree,
Now this I need help on.
In what way?
I don't know. There's something about it that it needs something.
Okay. Well, about the only thing I would say is that, again, you planted that tree right in center.
Okay.
And see if it were slightly this way, slightly that way.
It'd be more interesting.
Yeah, the composition would be more interesting. But you've kind of divided your canvas in half with that tree trunk. Okay. So that would be my only real comment. The way you handle, yeah, the way you handle the color from the foreground to the background is really nice. It works. I mean, this is all pulling forward as it gets cooler and kind of moving into the background. So you begin to get some nice depth in there.
I got to work on landscape.
Yeah, yeah, we all do. Okay. And there's your little girl and the horse. I remember you did that.
I did that in your class. I remember doing that.
Yeah. And it's a nice painting. The photo that you took is a little bit fuzzy and not quite as colorful as the actual piece, I think.
Okay, this I just bought it at a flea market 100 years ago, and I liked it. If you do the close-up, it's very, very painterly.
Yeah, you bought it 100 years ago?
I bought it a long time ago. And I just liked it because it's so painterly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was going to actually comment and said, wow, Naomi, you're really kind of getting some nice brushwork going on there.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the fact is you can. You just have to practice.
Yeah.
And then I thought this was a really interesting piece.
Okay, I have to tell you about that. That is at a convicts art show.
A convicts art show?
Convicts art show 55 years ago. We were just married and we went, and he made the frame. That frame is wood, and I always liked art. We had no money, but I bought it. A convict's art show. Isn't that a good idea?
Okay, now let me ask you this. Okay, so a convict painted this?
A convict painted that.
Oh, okay, because that looks strikingly like what you're doing with the colored pencils.
Yes, you see, I like that kind of stuff. I
Uh-huh.
liked it 50, 55 years ago. But isn't that nice? A nice idea that convicts and people who have trouble can really, art can help them.
Sure. Yeah.
And I paid $25 for that.
Okay.
Wow.
And then we got this piece, and this is a watercolor, right?
That's watercolor. I like women's faces.
Yeah. Well, I like the hats and the fact that
Yes.
you got
Yes.
yeah, these three ladies and they got their big hats on. So it's kind of fun. And then you've got, now, this doesn't look
Okay, this is not mine. I bought this in a very, very special place called Goodwill.
I see.
And that's on the left side of the eye, that's sparkly. It's not showing up, but
Right.
it just attracted me. I got that at Goodwill.
Okay.
I love Goodwill for picture frame and stuff.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Goodwill's
you
so
can-
much fun.
Yeah, you can pick up a lot of good stuff at Goodwill.
I just loved it.
Yeah. And then this looks like yours.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And again, you know, your color's kind of getting a little more unified, a little bit better. You know, this is kind of holding together really nicely. And, you know, you're still using the color of, you know, in and around the face and around the forms, and you're changing it. But you see, without that outline, you see, then the face holds together and it, you know, this becomes a shadow side, that becomes a light.
Oh, it would be better without. Now this painting I did a while ago, but you know what? That was when I was in business. Now it's the coronavirus. When is it going to go away?
Right.
Tomorrow.
Well, that's a good question. We're all kind of asking that, you know, these days. So yeah, I think everybody's kind of over it. So, and then we have.
Okay, this is okay, let me tell you about that. I bought polymer clay and I made the balls, and Helen baked it or whatever she does. But these are different colors and I love it.
Yep. Okay.
So it's polymer balls and I put a little something to make the hole in it. And it's a shoe leather. It's like a leather strap from Michaels, you know,
Right.
leather pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. As the necklace. Okay.
Yeah, but
So
I
let
love
me,
that necklace.
are these solid?
Yes, because it's polymer. Polymer clay is very, very light. That's why I could make these big balls. But notice I'm 5'1½", and I like big, everything big and bright. Yes, it's solid, but the polymer clay is very light.
Okay. All right. All right, Richard, we're going to talk about your piece.
Again?
Yeah, again. Yeah. Well, this is about inspiration, right? So this is, Richard had done a drawing and then he had made the comment that, you know, he had messed up the nose. So his solution for that was put a mask on it. And it's pretty witty. You know, I think that's very appropriate for the time that we are now all living through. But yeah, that was a nice piece. I like that. And then you sent me the drawing. This guy right here. Okay. I like it with the mask. You know, not that there's anything really wrong with the nose or the mouth or anything like that. It's just, you know, I think it's a stronger piece with the mask, right? Because it's more timely, I guess. You know. But yeah, it's good to see you drawing, Richard. Keep it up. Then we have, I think this was, lady, this was you, right?
Hold on. Goodness. I'm sorry, I'm still in the art class. Go on.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, I'm still here. I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. So yeah, this was yours, and this is a poster that you had done. And now, who is this young lady?
That's my niece, Miranda.
Right. Okay. And so she's a chef. Is that correct?
Yeah, she is a chef, but she's stepped away from the food service business. It's really rough, and she's doing something else now. But she focuses on vegan cooking, and this is the food that she cooks for herself and her family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And so that's a poster that I made to put in her kitchen, and it's 16 by 20.
Yeah, and it's very nicely done. It's fun, and you get to see some of the food that she created. You also get to see her personalized emoji, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, so that makes it a really fun piece.
Thank you.
And then Wanda. Okay, I'm going to show this piece again. All right, Wanda, are you here?
Well,
You were here earlier.
yeah.
Okay, I don't know. She went away. Anyway, this is her kind of like Mother Nature piece, and then she did a new drawing, and this was it. And again, it's got a
That one I really love.
yeah, it's got a real similar feel, between the two, her technique and process, and she used markers up here for the foliage and the leaves and stuff. And the only thing I was telling her is that, I'd like to see her darken down, these lattice pieces so that it looks like the light, out here is behind them. And then, these just would be darker, and it would make the pattern a little bit stronger down there. And then I think your eye would kind of be forced to go out, to the trees out here. And that's really, the only suggestion that I had for her. And I think she said she was going to work on this plant here a little bit more as well, but I'd like to see what she does with it, when it's done. So anyhow, it is about 3:15. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Anything?
I was just gonna tell Lady that I put. Oh, look, she left. Yeah, that I did pull up Jonathan Green, and he is South Carolina artist.
Okay.
And I see what you mean by the way he draws and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go take a look at him and see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But anyway, happy Monday, everybody. All right. We survived. We made it through Monday. So onward we go, and we'll see everybody on Wednesday morning, right around about 10 o'clock. No, 11. Okay.
Can you hear me, Beverly?
Yeah, Beverly.
Yeah. Okay. I had a hard time getting on, but I finally did. But I want to share what my weekend was like. In fact, it was yesterday. I was invited to Cecil Bernard's home, which is on a back street in Southwest Atlanta, and it is a mansion. And he is an artist.
Right.
And they call him Artist of the Stars. And he doesn't use any brushes. He uses like spackles and toilet rollers, after the paper's off, or socks or whatever. And his theme was remembrance of the past. I think it was that. But anyhow, his work, the majority of the pieces, and there must have been hundreds and huge pieces. And it looked like somebody just threw paint on a canvas, squirted it with a nozzle or something, splashed a sock on there, painted on top of a sock. He had chargers for telephones on it, and all this stuff was glued to these canvases. And people were buying this art. And my point is that people like different things, And like many of us are trying to be so realistic, abstract seems like it's taking over, and people just simply look at it for the color. That color matches my bedroom or whatever. But you can look him up. His name is Cecil Bernard.
Okay.
And,
Cecil Bernard.
Yeah. Now, some of his work that I saw online, it it was good. The background was real busy after he threw all that stuff on there. And he did an outline of whatever the figure was.
Okay.
Men playing trumpets or different instruments.
Let me ask you, Beverly, is this home open to the public or special invitations?
No, it was a special invitation.
1 week we'll call everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll take a look at him. All right, guys. So
Thank you.
I'm going to say
Thank you,
goodbye.
Beverly.
All right, everybody have a good week. We'll see you on Wednesday. Okay?
Okay.
I'll see. I got something planned Wednesday morning.
Okay.
Hope I'll be.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, George.
Beverly.
Please add me. Don't forget it. Thank you.
Okay, I will.
Thank
Thank
you. Bye. Bye.